Virtual worlds, I find these really fascinating. This is a screenshot of Second Life. It's a disco in Second Life. Flares are in. This woman's got a Led Zeppelin t-shirt, so that's kind of cool. But again, Second Life is interesting because it's been around since 2003. It was going to be the next big thing, but it has not taken off the way people expected it to. I reckon it'll come back again when they get the whole kind of these devices, the Wii and things like that, working in the context of Second Life. I think it's still Second Life. It's a bit, you have to use the mouse and kind of the keyboard. But eventually, I think virtual worlds. It's hard to imagine that in 10 years' time there won't be Second Life around, and it probably will be bigger and better. Anyway, virtual worlds. That's one example. This is this is a very old virtual world. This is like kind of an adventure game on the internet. This is the way virtual worlds used to look. I used to play things like this, I have to admit. And anyway, so it's an adventure game where it's all text based, and you're standing somewhere and you move. You can go north, south, east, west, and if you go the wrong direction, you fall over a cliff, and then the game starts again. But this is the way these things look today. This is a screenshot from EverQuest. So there are two types of virtual worlds. There are ones like Second Life, where there are no game mechanics. It's not a game that you're playing, it's just people hanging out with other people in Second Life. There are rules about the behaviour of people in Second Life. And for example, you have to have a humanoid avatar. So in terms of the terminology, avatars are the computer representation of people. And you get a lot of choice over how your avatar looks. You can choose the gender of the avatar. You can choose the, a lot of the features, the body shape and the clothing, etc. But it has to be humanoid, and it can't be a child. It has to be an adult avatar. And and obviously they don't allow people to choose child-shaped or children as avatars because of concerns about pedophilia. So, but apart from that, you can kind of do anything you want in Second Life. But there's not a game. It's not a game that you're playing. In contrast, these virtual worlds, it is a game. You have a quest that you're on. You're going to kill a dragon and get money, and you team up with other people in order to achieve these goals. Now, both of these types of virtual worlds are increasingly being used for social research. Ronald Burt, who I mentioned earlier, he's got a very interesting paper where he's using Second Life data to see whether or not there are structural holes in Second Life, and whether the dynamics of structural holes are similar to the dynamics of structural holes in the real world. So is it the case that people who occupy a particular network position in Second Life, whether that conveys advantages for them in terms of their ability to achieve things in Second Life? And his argument, and this is one that I subscribe to very much so, is that if you can't show that there's a mapping between behaviour in a virtual world and behaviour in the offline world, then it makes virtual worlds less interesting for social research. I'm of the view that my primary interest in the internet is as a source of data for phenomena that are of interest to social scientists in the real world, and it's a way to collect data that are otherwise very hard to collect, and to do research that's otherwise very hard to do. But essentially I'm interested in studying phenomena that social scientists have been studying for decades, but I'm just using internet data to do it. And if behaviour on the web is fundamentally different to behaviour offline, then it makes the web a less interesting source of data for people like me and Ronald Burt. So the term that gets used is mappings. If there's a mapping between the online world and the offline world, then that makes the online world a potential source of very rich data for research into offline phenomena. The other term that gets used is construct validity. The idea that an online world or data from an online world has construct validity in the context of a phenomena that you're interested offline.